The economic downturn is generally bad for business. However, some businesses cope with the recession better than others and even prosper. It was during the crisis that such world-renowned companies as FedEx, HP, and IBM emerged. We tell you which businesses are resilient in the toughest of times. Regardless of the circumstances, people still need to eat. It's not a luxury that can be neglected. That's why businesses in this area are doing relatively well even during a recession. Consider some particularly promising business ideas related to food and drink. Selling sweets. Some would think that uplifting food is a luxury. Sweets are relatively inexpensive to produce, yet they are a lot of fun and in demand even in hard times. One of the most popular treats in the world is the Mars candy bar. It was invented during the Great Depression of the 1930s. Retail stores. During a recession, the number of shoppers in small grocery stores often increases. Some people try to cut back on spending by shopping at a convenience store rather than a large department store. Food delivery. There are many people who just don't like to cook. But eating out all the time is expensive and not everyone can afford it. Food delivery services are the answer for this category. Vending machines. This business model aims to cover the basic necessities of life, including drinks and snacks. Also, if sales drop, vending can be moved to higher traffic areas. Fast food. The fast food industry is attractive not only because it is growing aggressively in good times, but also because it has historically shown resilience during economic crises. Fixed-price stores. During a recession, many people reconsider their shopping habits, which is why retailers that offer discounts and cheap alternatives will be popular. Medical services. Healthcare is growing even in times of crisis, as demand grows and science and medicine continue to evolve. There will always be a need for medical services, but some services are especially important in difficult times. Caring for the elderly. This category of citizens needs special attention, especially as countries' populations age. Contraception. This is another service that is in demand. The need for it increases in times of crisis, when many people decide to postpone having children. Pharmaceuticals. The demand for medicines is mostly stable. Treatment is rarely postponed until better times. Services for pet owners. During the pandemic, the number of pets has only grown. People are not willing to save money on them, and the following services will always be in demand. Veterinary services. Pets will need treatment regardless of the economic situation. Grooming. The millennial generation is buying more pets than their predecessors. Market research company Mintel found that 40% of Americans between the ages of 30 and 49 are interested in grooming services. Essential pet products. This is another category that will always be in demand. Repair and renovation. During an economic downturn, not everyone can afford to buy a new home or appliances. That said, there is always a demand for repairs. Plumbing service. When an accident happens, it is repaired immediately, without waiting for the crisis to end. Car repairs. A large group of the population simply can't do without transportation. Therefore, mechanics will always be needed. Repair and maintenance of equipment. These services are required by any business that uses certain machines. For example, office workers don't always know how to fix a printer, and they need specially trained people. Home repairs. Not everyone has the specialized skills needed to repair. When problems arise, consumers inevitably turn to professionals. Real estate and facilities management. The recession can be good for the real estate sector, often the best time to buy. It's an important and very valuable industry, and there's serious money to be made in it. Here are some related business ideas. Real estate pre-sale preparation. This service allows you to sell your property quickly and increase its value. Therefore, it will always be in demand. Real estate agency. Selling real estate requires knowledge, connections, and experience that are not available to everyone. Therefore, during the crisis, agencies will still be in demand. Another popular service that they will be able to provide is renting. Baby products and childcare. Consumers are changing their habits in tough times, but they are not willing to spend less on children. Historically, such products have sold well even during economic downturns. In addition, more and more mothers are thinking about cutting back on maternity leave and needing to babysit. Financial and accounting services. This sector is vital regardless of the state of the economy, as organizations need to keep track of their finances. crisis always increases the demand for such services. Here are just a few business ideas for this category. Financial planning. Even if an individual or organization's financial situation is good, it can quickly deteriorate during a recession. Accounting and tax consulting. Not every entrepreneur has the time and skills needed to do their accounting properly. As a rule, a specialist or outsourcer is hired for this purpose. Freelance. This is potentially one of the most sustainable business models for a crisis. Companies can save significant money by outsourcing some tasks. A freelancer can not only replace a niche specialist, but also act as a virtual assistant, handling administrative tasks right from home. Cleaning. Economic turmoil does not eliminate the requirements for cleanliness of public spaces and specialized institutions. The customers of the cleaning business can be any business where people visit, from clinics and restaurants to public spaces. Tattoo parlors. In the list of services that provide basic needs, it is rather strange to see tattoo studios. However, even during recessions, these services continue to be popular. There may be many reasons for this. Tattoos are relatively inexpensive compared to how long they last, while becoming increasingly popular with new generations. Retail. Demand for mass-market products has generally remained stable, even amid the economic downturn. There are other categories of goods that are selling well, even as people limit spending on luxury retail. The consumers of this market are well-to-do people, and the crisis has not affected their lifestyle too much. Businesses in this area can expect their sales to be generally stable. Discounters. At the other end of the spectrum will be those who have been affected by the recession and have had to change their consumer habits significantly. Typically, an economic downturn leads to an influx of new customers into discounters. Pawn shops. Often those who sell things to pawn shops consider this a great alternative to borrowing. At the same time, those who buy back such items are often attracted by their cheapness. Both of these categories of consumers provide good support for businesses during a recession. Courier services. There is always a need for shipping services. Moreover, the crisis may even contribute to the influx of new customers. Businesses that used to deliver on their own will cut costs and outsource this function. Beauty services. The beauty industry successfully survives crises, and the point here is not the vanity of consumers, but the fact that in difficult times people continue to please themselves with small purchases, because they cannot spend a larger amount. This is called the lipstick effect, as the phenomenon often applies to the beauty industry. Here are examples of businesses that continue to thrive during an economic downturn. Nail service. Manicures are a relatively inexpensive way to take care of yourself, and the popularity of this service does not decrease even in times of crisis. Hairdressing services. Hair care is the last pleasure that people are willing to give up for the sake of economy. Technical support. Technology is not standing still. Software products are getting more complicated, which means that users still need the help of qualified specialists. Funeral services. As Mark Twain said, only death and taxes are inevitable. Regardless of the state of the economy, the demand for funeral services will continue, whether it's burial, cremation, or more technological wishes. Staffing agencies. Even during mass layoffs, these businesses always have jobs. Typically, unemployment rises in areas hit by the recession. But as you can see from this list, there are many businesses that are thriving in hard times and will need new staffing. Education businesses. Education and continuing education services are always in demand. With people losing their jobs and trying to get a new profession, the range of potential consumers increases. Thus, the business in this sphere will not only grow vigorously, but also help the national economy recover.